In the late 1990s, millions of families shared the same nightly routine. After dinner, the television turned on, and for the next 30 minutes, audiences were welcomed into the chaotic but lovable world of the Barone family. Everybody Loves Raymond quickly became one of the most relatable sitcoms ever created. The arguments between Ray and Deborah felt real. The family tensions were painfully familiar, and the humor came straight from everyday life. But while the show made millions laugh, the real lives of the actors behind those characters often followed very different paths. Some achieved enormous success. Some stepped away from Hollywood entirely. And for a few, the story ended in heartbreaking tragedy. So what really happened to the cast of Everybody Loves Raymond? Before we continue, tell us in the comments which character from Everybody Loves Raymond made you laugh the most. When Everybody Loves Raymond premiered in 1996, it didn't rely on outrageous storylines or flashy ideas. Instead, the show focused on something far more universal: family. Inspired by Ray Romano's real-life experiences, the series followed sports writer Raymond Barone as he tried to balance his career, his marriage, and the constant presence of his parents who lived directly across the street. What made the show special was how real it felt. The jokes came from everyday frustrations, awkward family dinners, and the kind of arguments many viewers recognized from their own homes. Over 9 seasons and more than 200 episodes, the series became one of the most beloved sitcoms of its generation, winning multiple awards and building a loyal audience around the world. But when the show ended in 2005, the lives of the actors who played the Barone family began to move in very different directions. Monica Horan appeared on the show as Amy McDougal, the kind, patient, and often soft-spoken girlfriend of Robert Barone, who later became his wife. In a family filled with loud personalities and constant arguments, Amy often felt like the calmest person in the room. Her polite manners and gentle personality created a perfect contrast with the chaotic Barone household, which made many of her scenes especially memorable for fans. What many viewers didn't know at the time was that Monica Horan had a unique connection to the show behind the scenes. In real life, she is married to Phil Rosenthal, the creator and executive producer of Everybody Loves Raymond. Early in the show's run, this led to some criticism and speculation that she had only been cast because of that relationship. But as the seasons progressed, Horan quickly proved she belonged there. Her performance gradually won over audiences, and Amy became an important part of Robert's story throughout the series. Before joining the sitcom, Monica had already worked in television and theater, and after the show ended, she continued acting in smaller roles, guest appearances, and stage productions. Rather than chasing the spotlight of major Hollywood fame, she chose a quieter path while remaining connected to the show's legacy that introduced her to millions of viewers. Patricia Heaton became one of the biggest stars of Everybody Loves Raymond through her role as Deborah Barone, Ray's intelligent but frequently exhausted wife. Deborah was often the voice of reason in the Barone household, constantly trying to manage Ray's immaturity while dealing with the endless interference of his parents, Marie and Frank. Patricia Heaton brought the character to life with a perfect blend of frustration, sarcasm, and warmth that made Deborah one of the most relatable sitcom wives of the era. But her road to success was not easy. Before landing the role in 1996, Heaton spent years struggling in Hollywood, taking small roles and facing many disappointments. When Everybody Loves Raymond became a hit, everything changed. Her performance earned her 2 Primetime Emmy Awards and turned her into one of the most recognizable television actresses of the 2000s. Even after the series ended, Patricia Heaton proved that her success was not limited to one show. She later starred in another popular sitcom, The Middle, where she played the hard-working mother, Frankie Heck, for nearly a decade. Throughout her career, Heaton has balanced life in Hollywood with raising 4 children and maintaining a strong focus on family. For many viewers, however, she will always be remembered as Deborah Barone, the woman who somehow managed to survive life in the middle of the Barone family chaos. Ray Romano was not only the star of Everybody Loves Raymond, he was also the creative force behind it. Before the show changed his life, Romano was simply a struggling stand-up comedian trying to make a name for himself in small comedy clubs across New York. His routines focused on everyday life, marriage, parenting, and the awkward realities of family relationships. Those simple, relatable stories would eventually become the heart of the sitcom that made him famous. When Everybody Loves Raymond premiered in 1996, much of the show was directly inspired by Romano's own life. The character of Raymond Barone reflected many of his real experiences as a husband and father, while the loud and intrusive parents were loosely based on his own family. That authenticity helped the show connect with audiences almost immediately. Viewers felt like they were watching a real family rather than fictional characters. As the series grew in popularity, Ray Romano's career skyrocketed. By the later seasons of the show, he had become one of the highest-paid actors in television history. His success turned him into a household name and one of the defining comedy stars of the late 1990s and early 2000s. But after the show ended in 2005, Romano surprised many people by gradually moving away from traditional sitcom roles. Instead, he began exploring more dramatic performances. His role in the television drama Parenthood revealed a quieter and more emotional side of his acting ability, earning praise from critics and audiences alike. Later, he appeared in Martin Scorsese's film The Irishman, sharing the screen with legendary actors like Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. The role proved that Romano could succeed far beyond the world of sitcom comedy. Despite decades of success, Ray Romano has remained known for his humble personality and relatively private lifestyle. For millions of fans, however, he will always be remembered as Raymond Barone, the lovable, slightly clueless husband at the center of one of television's most beloved family comedies. Quick question for you. Which episode of Everybody Loves Raymond do you still remember the most? Tell us in the comments, and let's see which moments fans still love the most. Brad Garrett became one of the most memorable faces of Everybody Loves Raymond through his role as Robert Barone, Ray's older brother. Robert was tall, awkward, deeply competitive with Ray, and often felt overshadowed by his younger sibling. Garrett's towering height and unmistakably deep voice made the character instantly recognizable. But it was his ability to combine sarcasm with emotional vulnerability that truly made Robert stand out. Viewers could laugh at his jealousy and insecurities while still sympathizing with his constant struggle to find his place in the Barone family. Before joining the series, Brad Garrett had already built a career as a stand-up comedian. His big break came in the late 1980s when he appeared on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, an appearance that brought him national attention. That success opened doors in television, film, and voice acting. When Everybody Loves Raymond became a massive hit, Garrett's performance as Robert Barone earned widespread praise. Over the course of the series, he won 3 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. However, the show was not without its behind-the-scenes tension. During the early 2000s, Garrett and fellow cast members Peter Boyle publicly challenged the large salary gap between themselves and Ray Romano. The dispute even led to temporary absences from several episodes while negotiations took place. Eventually, the issue was resolved, and the cast returned to finish the show's successful run. After the series ended, Brad Garrett continued to thrive in entertainment. His deep voice made him a perfect fit for animated films, leading to roles in major movies like Finding Nemo and Ratatouille. He also returned to his roots in stand-up comedy, performing regularly and even opening his own comedy club in Las Vegas. Decades after the show first aired, Garrett remains a respected comedian and actor whose portrayal of Robert Barone remains one of the most iconic characters in sitcom history. Peter Boyle brought unforgettable energy to the role of Frank Barone, the blunt and brutally honest father in the Barone family. Frank was loud, stubborn, and never afraid to say exactly what was on his mind. His constant arguments with Marie and his sarcastic comments toward Ray and Robert created many of the show's funniest moments. Yet, despite Frank's rough personality, Peter Boyle managed to reveal glimpses of warmth that reminded viewers that Frank loved his family in his own unique way. Long before joining Everybody Loves Raymond, Peter Boyle had already built a respected career in Hollywood. In the 1970s, he gained attention for powerful dramatic performances in films such as Joe and The Candidate. He also appeared in the cult comedy classic Young Frankenstein, where his performance as the monster became one of the film's most memorable roles. Because of these earlier performances, Boyle was often associated with serious or unconventional characters. That is what made his role as Frank Barone so surprising. On the sitcom, Boyle showed a completely different side of his talent, proving he had impeccable comedic timing. His on-screen chemistry with Doris Roberts helped create one of television's most iconic sitcom couples. Sadly, Peter Boyle faced health struggles in his later years. In 2006, just 1 year after the show ended, he passed away at the age of 71. His death deeply saddened fans and the cast alike. For many viewers, Peter Boyle will always be remembered as Frank Barone, the grumpy but unforgettable father who helped make Everybody Loves Raymond one of the most beloved sitcoms in television history. Doris Roberts became one of the most unforgettable characters in television history through her role as Marie Barone, Ray's loving but relentlessly intrusive mother. Marie was the kind of character who could make audiences laugh and cringe at the same time. She was deeply devoted to her family, yet constantly interfering in Ray and Deborah's marriage, offering opinions that were rarely requested and often impossible to ignore. Doris Roberts played the role with such precision and charm that Marie quickly became one of the most iconic sitcom mothers ever created. What made her performance so special was the balance she brought to the character. Marie could be manipulative, dramatic, and overbearing, but she was also warm, proud of her family, and genuinely loving. Roberts' impeccable comedic timing, combined with her on-screen chemistry with Peter Boyle, created one of television's most memorable sitcom couples. By the time she joined Everybody Loves Raymond, Doris Roberts had already built an impressive career that spanned decades. She had appeared in numerous films, stage productions, and television series since the 1950s, earning a reputation as one of Hollywood's most reliable character actresses. Yet it was the role of Marie Barone that brought her the greatest recognition. During the show's run, she won 4 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series, a remarkable achievement that reflected how beloved her character had become. Even after the show ended, Roberts continued acting well into her later years, appearing in television projects and films with the same passion that had defined her long career. In 2016, Doris Roberts passed away peacefully at the age of 90. Her death marked the loss of a legendary performer, but the character she created continues to live on. For many fans, Marie Barone remains one of the most memorable and hilarious mothers in television history. One of the most heartbreaking stories connected to Everybody Loves Raymond belongs to Sawyer Sweeten, the young actor who played Jeffrey Barone, one of Ray and Deborah's sons. Sawyer joined the series when he was still an infant, appearing alongside his real-life twin brother, Sullivan Sweeten, who played his twin brother Michael on the show. As the seasons passed, audiences watched the boys grow up right before their eyes. Because he began acting at such a young age, much of Sawyer's childhood was spent on the set of the series. The show became a central part of his early life, and the cast and crew often described the young actors as part of the extended family behind the scenes. For fans, Jeffrey and Michael helped make the Barone household feel even more authentic and relatable. After the series ended in 2005, Sawyer stepped away from the spotlight and tried to live a more normal life outside the pressures of Hollywood. But in 2015, heartbreaking news shocked fans of the show around the world. Sawyer Sweeten tragically passed away at just 19 years old. The loss deeply affected the entire cast. Ray Romano, Patricia Heaton, and other members of the show publicly expressed their grief and shared memories of the kind and warm young man they had known since he was a child. For many viewers who had watched him grow up on television, the news felt especially painful. Although his life was tragically short, Sawyer Sweeten remains part of the legacy of Everybody Loves Raymond. Through the episodes that continue to air around the world, fans can still see the young actor who helped bring warmth and authenticity to one of television's most beloved families. Even decades later, Everybody Loves Raymond remains one of the most beloved sitcoms ever created. The show captured something timeless about family life: the small arguments, the everyday frustrations, and the laughter that somehow brought everyone back together in the end. The Barone family felt real, and that's why audiences connected with them so deeply. Over the years, time has changed the lives of the actors in many different ways. Some continued their careers in Hollywood, some chose quieter lives away from the spotlight, and some are sadly no longer with us. But the characters they created together continue to live on, through reruns watched by millions of fans around the world. If Everybody Loves Raymond was part of your childhood, we'd love to hear from you. Who was your favorite character from the show? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more nostalgic cast then and now stories from classic television.